So sit back and enjoy this one. International fan reaction for that 4-0 defeat against Burnley. The guys have a few things to say. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. And if you like this sort of video, please smash a like.
Hey, Dave, Wolfman Jeff here on the porch in Alabama. Got up early to watch the match today, and I should have just stayed in bed. It was it's about as much effort as they put into it, so why did I put in the effort? It was very frustrating. In particular, very disappointed with our back three. Looking at the team sheet going in there, I felt like, well, Nuno's going for it because it looked like he had about the strongest side he had available to him. Still, no, we're dealing with injuries. I get that. He had the back three, or actually the back five, I guess, which is what we're wanting for now to keep things safe. And so it looked like he wasn't taking too many risks. At the same time, we know our team has little to lose, little to gain, and they played like it. Isn't going to change too much of where we're going to land. We're not going to advance, and I think the opportunity for us to get to the top 10 is probably gone now, so there's that big disappointment. But it was just it's like they didn't care, you know. Burnley did whatever Burnley wanted to do, and we put in a somewhat effort, but not too much. There was some moments, you know, Troyer had done a few things, and some others had done some movements, but you could tell by the stats. I mean, our lack of shots on goal is just atrocious. But really, it's our defense I'm the most upset about. When they made the first change, he pulled off SUBBUTEO, and I get wanting to get Fabio in there to give some creativity, but you know, SUBBUTEO I thought was kind of holding it pretty well. So I don't know. And then later on, he just, you know, he pulled in some of the players who needed some experience, which, you know, if hindsight, I think he may have just started it that way. If knowing what we know now, season's over. I know some people are very frustrated with Nuno. I just think he's just tired, Dave. I think he's just not just physically tired, but I think he's emotionally wore out. And so I'm just looking for the end of the season. I'm not going to say Nuno out, but I do think that it's going to do a lot of us pretty good to go ahead and have an actual break this time. So disappointing. If we play this way against Albion, it's going to get really ugly. And because, you know, Albion is trying to stay alive. We have to put them down next week. We have to put them down. It's Wolfman Jeff on the porch. I'm going to go back and take a nap.
It's Chris from Eidsvoll in Norway, reflecting on a 4-0 home defeat by Burnley, a game in which almost everything went wrong, a game in which normally reliable players made stupid mistakes, many of them in fact, a game where we were totally outfought, outrun, outmanoeuvred by, I think, is quite a poor Burnley team, to be honest. Might have looked like they did well today, but no, look why I'm a league. Look, you know, Burnley have been in this league a few years and contributed absolutely nothing to this league. And we, on the other hand, have regressed so badly. And I'm beyond disappointed, really, because I didn't think they were capable of that. I really didn't. I think that's it for Nuno. I'm sorry, best manager of Wolves in my lifetime. But as a fan, a long-term fan, I've seen different managers come and go. There's performances you see that say to you, it's time up. The players aren't doing what he wants anymore. And I hate to say it, but that's what I saw today. Bad day, bad season. I'm afraid that's it now for Nuno. I think that's it.
Hi guys, Andy here from Montreux in Switzerland. That was a performance which was lacking in precision. There was no sense of urgency. It didn't look like a team, they looked like a collection of individuals with no sense of purpose. nothing to lose and nothing to gain. Whatever the strategy was, it clearly did not work. Going forward, I hope when they reflect that they come into the next game wanting to win with desire, less passivity and more urgency, clipped, and they prove that they can play football and play together as a team. In the summer, I think we clearly need to strengthen the squad. We need to bring in players in each zone on the pitch to replace those who are long-term injured. Having long-term injured is no excuse for playing like that. And in the final 5 games, they have an opportunity to prove they can play. Let's hope they do.
Hi Wolves fans, this is Dinny here in Middleton in Cork. That game was a bit of a low point. It's lucky that Wolves are safe, because I would really be worried about them. The level of commitment and passion and desire just wasn't there. You can be as talented and as good as you like, but if you're not going to show desire and passion, which Burnley had, my hat is off to Burnley, because they really deserved to win that. Got to all the second balls quickly and just put Wolves under huge pressure. If you're a manager setting up a team to play against Wolves at the moment, it's quite simple really. You know Wolves are going to be tame in the first half, so my instruction to any team going out against Wolves is just hammer them in the first half. Just get at them. They're like that Arsenal team before. They just don't like it up them. We know that they're kind of have a soft side. A couple of weeks back we were talking about that they don't pick up yellow cards in the same game that players are doing the kind of tactical fouling and stuff like that. So that just doesn't seem to be Wolves' thing. So if I was sending a team out against Wolves at the minute, it's just get at them, just get at them, kick them, which I know is terrible to say, but it's just the way to do it. And Burnley had 3 goals by half time, so that's kind of where it is. This Nuno out thing that's going on, I'm not on board with that, because I think he's earned at least another season. And I just think when you put managers out, you bring one in, and what do you give the new manager? You say to him, well, we're going to need to get ourselves a left back, we're going to need to get ourselves a centre half, maybe an attacking midfielder, and maybe. But sure, they're the things. If those things are available to the new manager, then that's what Nuno needs. So just give that stuff to Nuno and give him another season. I don't think the resources are going to be there to bring in all that, but they're not going to be there for the new manager either. So it's just going to be these players, and they haven't showed the commitment in this game, and I think that's what's lacking. So I'm going to leave it at that. The West Brom game, it's going to be the same as that game, isn't it? Like, I'd love to see Nuno change for the rest of the season. I'd love to see Nuno change 2 players from the lineup yesterday. So maybe swap out Semedo and bring in Hoiver, or maybe play him at centre back, Hoiver that is. Give Vitinha a crack, give Otasowie a crack, start Silva maybe. Just do a little bit of jigging around with the formation at the moment. It's just so bloody boring and predictable, and I think even the players themselves, the likes of Traore and a few more of them, they're training week in week out with the likes of Vitinha, and they're with Morgan Gibbs-White and these lads, and if they're doing well in training and then the team sheet is announced, I'd say the players' heads are dropping the same way as ours are when we see the team, because we know it's going to be predictable, we know it's going to be a bit boring, and we know it's going to be vanilla. So I'd say the players are nearly the same. I'd say the lads up front would love to see an attacking midfielder to give them a bit more service, but it's just not happening. So look, I'm going to leave it at that. The positives from the game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, Wolves fans. I'll do another one after the West Brom game, and hopefully it's a bit more positive. Alright.
Hello Dave, fellow Wolves fans, Brian from Thailand. Game's finished about 10 minutes ago. There's not much I can say apart from last week, Chris from Eisfeld in Norway, he normally has a drink in a tankard, after a victory, and he said last week, although we beat Sheffield United 1-0 last week, the performance didn't warrant having a beer. Well, I can quite honestly say, after today's performance, I think Chris and every Wolves fan, it might actually drive you to drink based on that result today. It was absolutely atrocious. I can't give you a performance rating. I can't give you a man of the match award because it was just darn right crap. Fair play to Burnley. They looked as though they had 11, 12 men on the park at times, but dearie me, Nuno's got some work to turn it round against West Brom next week. I haven't got anything else to say. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Wolves 0, Burnley 4. I don't know what to say about that performance, really. Man of the match, quite clearly Chris Wood, and not a bloke in a Wolves shirt, that's for sure. Turned Cody inside out twice to put the one in the back of the net. Adama Traore won another assist, congratulations. Unfortunately it was for them, for their second goal. William Jose was nowhere near him for the header that he put in. Just a terrible performance. I think we want to forget about that performance as fast as we can. We were awful in defence and pretty terrible in attack as well. I can't remember a decent attack that we put in. Fortunate not to be 5 for the offside. What to say? I'm glad it's coming towards the end of the season. I'm glad we're already quite safe from relegation. I hope to hell Nuno is looking for the transfer market for the summer, because we clearly need to improve in a lot of areas on the pitch. But for me, today was about the work ethic. They just wanted it more. They needed the points. They were working harder. They were winning the second ball, and they were up for it. There was no way they were leaving that pitch today without having all 3 points. And that should be the attitude that we put out as well. So Wolves 0, Burnley 4. Hope the next one's better. Always Wolves from Athens.
Hey Dave, David New York Wolves here. It's cold, it's rainy and it's miserable in Connecticut. And I'm not just talking about the weather. The lucky black Fosun shirt did not work. I had to double check that I hadn't put the damn thing on backwards, to be honest. I'm struggling for positives. I don't think there were any. I think that's pretty easily the worst full game performance under Nuno. We were awful against West Ham in the first half, but at least we showed some spark and came back in the second, and were unlucky not to get a point out of that. Today there was like nothing. The only bit of fight we showed was when Pedence went down in the box, which was interesting. I did think he was shoved in the back, but thanks to the AR for not checking that. And then, everybody get all up in everybody's faces. That was like the only fight we showed in the game, and that's just really disappointing. We're all saying, I think, let's just, can't wait for the season to be over, but you don't want the players saying that. And I think the thing that really concerns me after today is that was our strongest available 11, and I think, yes, the squad's been decimated with injuries. We know that. And Moutinho was out today, who I assume was injured as well. But I think that's been the problem for the time we've been in the Premier League, is the starting 11 is pretty good and capable of holding their own and getting some great results. But there wasn't the depth there. So, if you had to bring somebody off the bench to change something, or, dare I say it, in the FA Cup semi-final, bring a couple of exhausted players off and shore it up, we just don't really have that. And now with the injuries this season, we're forced to not play with our first 11. We're forced to play with the people who would be on the bench every game. And that I think has come back to bite us. I think the other thing that's concerning me at the moment is, it seems like Fosun haven't officially said this, but everything you read says that basically we're going to have to sell to buy. And that doesn't quite sit right with me, because we're 3 seasons into a very successful return to the Premier League, especially out the first 2 seasons finishing 7th. Very unlucky last season not to get Europa again, getting to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Very, very successful return to the big time. And I would have expected at this point in our history, in our Premier League existence this time around, that we would be consolidating and expanding the squad to establish ourselves as serious Big Six contenders. Not in a position of, hey, let's sell some more of our best players and rebuild. You know, that feels like going back to 3 years ago, and that doesn't quite sit right with me. So I don't know. Again, can't wait for the damn season to be over. Just finish it. Get players fit again. Get the fans back in the stadium, I hope. Get all of this horrible coronavirus stuff behind us and get back to something approaching normality. Definitely going to be a lot of changes over the summer, I think. And we'll see to what extent that happens. You know, I've never been someone to jump on the manager out bandwagon, and I'm certainly not doing that now. But I have to admit, after today, I did start to wonder, you know, maybe Nuno has taken us as far as he can. I really hate to say it because I love the man. I think he's a fantastic human being and he's done amazing things for us. But all things do come to an end. So hopefully I'm wrong on that. And hopefully I watch this video back and I'm embarrassed 6 months from now. I would love nothing more than that. But, you know, it makes you wonder. So I actually just thought of one positive. Burnley winning. If Albion lose this afternoon and Brighton get a point or more next weekend, we can relegate Albion. That is the one bright point. The only problem with that is we don't look like beating we don't look like beating a SUBBUTEO team at this point. So you have to wonder whether that's even a possibility. But I'll end it on something I think that's as close to a high point as I'm going to get today. So cheers up the walls.
Thanks to everyone that took time to contribute. Never easy after a bad defeat. Yeah. Until the next one, I'm Dazzling Dave. Always Wolves.